Recording started.
So I think this particular, yeah.
Go ahead, Bala, sorry.
Yeah, please go ahead, Liam. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I tried to add myself to some of the package of the areas there on the page, but I didn't have edit access to the document. So sorry, I wonder if it's probably John has to do that, I guess.
You mean the access to the document?
Yeah, you know the agenda document.
Yeah.
SIG Auto.
Yeah.
I tried to add myself there earlier today, and
yeah, it's
I
probably
I don't have edit access. I think the same thing happened on the document for Tal's group as well. So okay.
Okay.
It's probably John has to do that, I guess.
I guess.
Although I see fish is, yeah, but it's probably you probably need to be an editor to another person to be an editor, I guess.
Yeah, I think he said, let's see here.
Are you sharing something, Bala?
Yeah, I'm going to do that in a bit. So let me see whether it gives me an easier way to share the screen. So Lim, I think for the access, Wim, can you give him access? Can you give Liam access to the document he's talking about, the agenda documentation?
So what do you want to share the document?
No, when I try and add myself to the team, the document at the top comes up request. It says request edit access, and I can't.
Okay.
I can't write.
Make host, make co-host.
No,
Okay,
it's not.
right
No,
now.
I can explain what's happening if I share. Let me just show.
And I just made you co-host, so maybe that helps. I don't know.
I don't think so, because yeah, what's happening is when I come here, I want to say, for example, I want to say that I want to help here on package requirements for discovery. For example, I can't write. I have to. I have. Yeah, I've already done this. So.
Okay, so but that's John owns that document, I think. Yeah. So what I did is I opened edit rights to everybody.
Yeah, I think the same. I think the same thing was happening with people who were trying to write on Vim's document at the last meeting. So.
Yes, that's correct. And what I did is, as I just said, I gave access to everybody, so the whole world that can update this document. And that's probably the issue. So you have to get, but do it? Let me see whether I can do it. 1 moment.
You can take it that I'll try and contribute.
I'm not sure whether John owns the right. So let me see whether I can
look,
do it.
we could do it after. I mean, I'll contribute on this.
Yeah. So everybody else. So if you didn't have audit or edit rights, you are a viewer. And I cannot, wait a minute, can I change it? Okay, I can change it.
All right.
Try now?
Now I think I can. Very good. Yes, okay. Now I can edit it. Thank you very much. Okay.
All right, cool.
I'll probably regret this now, anyway, but
I don't know, now we have a security problem, but...
well, no, it's just...
So Wim, I have some issues sharing. Do you mind sharing the link I sent you? Is that okay?
Sure. Which link? Okay.
I sent it in the chat.
Yes. Okay. Share screen. All right. This one, right?
Yes.
This one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you how this is actually our board. We have a single board at this point of time, which populated with the issues. The source for this is John's execution document. If you see the John's execution document, he has segregated the issues into sprints, sprint 1, 2 until sprint 5. So at this point of time, I have taken the issues from that document and populated here. So the way this board works is we have views specific to a sprint, and we have views specific to the entire backlog as well. So as I told in the Slack yesterday, in this, so for example, if you see the first view, that's a SIG release sprint view. The second one is the entire SIG automation sprint view. And the third one is package management. It's very specific to package management. And the fourth one is package specialization, and then the workload. And then the last two tabs are the actual entire backlog. So that backlog is going to be populated with more and more issues from that execution plan. So for a particular project perspective or a particular sub-project perspective, what we will focus on is we'll go to the sprint board of that particular sub-project. In this particular case, package management. I will create the issues. I'll help create the boards, and obviously, as we discussed yesterday, the individual sub-project leads will run their sub-projects as they deem fit, and they will want to use this as the execution guideline for the sprint, and then obviously based on the team velocity and the resources available and number of people available, etc. And the sprint may go as intended, it may not go as intended. So obviously, if the things that is intended to be done in a sprint does not happen for any reason, then obviously those items will fall into a subsequent sprint. I'll take care of that, managing that one. So in this particular meeting, we are going to talk about the package management sprint. So the one that we see here is the issues that John put for sprint 1 in his execution document. And what he wanted us to do in this particular meeting in his absence is to see and assign folks. And I mean, most likely, hopefully, people will volunteer for some of these things and have that task assignment going. Hopefully, it is self-assignment during this meeting. If not, we'll make some progress as much as possible today, and then obviously we'll continue this in tomorrow's meeting as well. That's the scope of the meeting. Any questions there? I cannot see the raised hand, so let's see here. Okay. Oh. All right. So, and then as we see here, some of the things have already been worked upon. There are some of things are done. Some of the old CRD stuffs and some of the new CRDs too, and then some work is both John and Wim are working on that. So
this one, Bala, this is done. Actually, this PR is created, so someone needs to approve it. But I put it still in progress because it's still being approved, or needs to be approved. But it's actually, for me, it's done. But someone needs to approve it. But so the PR I submitted this morning to PR.
Okay. Good. Thanks.
And I think I should have updated. You see here? Yeah. You see here I've updated. Yeah.
Got it. Cool. Nice. So if you click the package dependency controller. Let's see what is that. I think I
Sorry,
just
there's a bit of background now.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to take it like this?
yes, I think can you increase the font a little bit if you don't mind?
Like this?
Yeah. So, Wim, I wanted to understand one thing on this one. In the new scheme of things, with package variances and putting some of this into the porch itself, how significant is this one, this particular controller?
In my view, the chances of us doing this is low, in my view.
Okay. That's what my understanding too. I think probably most of it will flow into Porsche, I guess, right? Some of the
See, our biggest dependency is this, right? If a package contains a namespace, so if you need to create a namespace in a package and it does not exist, you need to, so there's a dependency there.
Yeah.
So this is what is supposed to happen here, but I have the feeling that we will probably not have enough time here, but that's my personal view. So yeah, so that's what it's about, basically, what this what this issue is about.
okay.
Because for us in R1, we have the only dependency we have is namespace, and that's it. Because there is another one actually, but in the workload cluster, if you do the design on the operator right, so which we still have to discuss. So in other words, we get NADs from the package specialization, right? And we have the operator. So what the operator has to do is check whether all the NADs exist in the cluster, and it can know it based on the SMF or UPF or AMF deployment. So it actually knows the interfaces. So before it can proceed to anything, it has to check whether all the NADs are there. If you do that logic in the operators, you don't have a dependency there either. So the only thing that we actually
When
have
you
to
say
deal with
operators, the operators running on the workload cluster, right?
that's correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, if it
Because
is lower,
most of our dependency management is somehow sorted, right? We have this condition dance or this choreography that has to happen. So that's where we have dependencies, but that's done. So we in package specialization, so we have a design that takes care of that. So there's nothing else to be done. If you do the workload cluster properly, then we also don't have it there. So the only thing that is missing in my view for R1 is the namespace need to be created before the operator. And I have my view from but I don't know the details, is that config sync does something there, but I'm not 100% sure. It's speculation, because I never had issues when you do it, so that's why I'm speculating. But John probably has a better view on it.
okay. So that was my understanding too on this one. So probably lower priority, but this issue was created long time. Probably
Yes.
probably we can take it out of the sprint for now.
Please
Let's
discuss with John. I think he has a probably better view of me, but I always have the opinion that this is not. It's probably less likely to happen.
Okay, well, thank you. So let's go to the next issue. So install free 5GC SMF package.
No, this is initial free 5GC SMF. So I created one
Yes.
for UPF.
Yeah.
This is doing the same thing for SMF.
Yes, yes. So any takers for this?
I thought this is part of the workload automation group.
No. So
No?
what
Okay.
this is on is the
Oh, the
initial
CRD.
blueprint initial blueprint package that you started. So you can see, if you look, I'm happy to do it, but I think it would be good for other people to do it. What this is this. I created so this is the PR. What this basically does is it creates the initial package that we would have as a blueprint package for, and this is a UPF example. So for the SMF, your capacity will not contain data plane, but probably sessions. You don't need a DNN. and you don't need an N3, you need an N4, and you need SBA, right? So basically, the idea is to create something similar to this, probably add it in the same repo, a separate name like that. So that's basically what it is.
Okay,
Good.
quick question.
Yes.
So I've scheduled a 10 a.m. Pacific time, like after this call, with Stephen and Virash to walk through SMF. I'm
Uh-huh.
curious if you're free to join. I know it's
Yeah,
late.
I'll try to
Okay,
join.
I'll send you an invite.
But
Because
yeah,
this is
so,
exactly what I'm looking for. Is
no,
how
I
to-
don't think so. Because you want a fully hydrated one. You want to have a fully specialized. This is the
understood.
beginning of the
Yeah,
journey.
understood. But the existing 3.5 GC operator code has N3, N4, and 6. And then I'm not so sure which N is needed and which N is not, for example.
And 4 and
if it's fully
SBA, I think.
hydrated.
And 4 and SBA.
Yeah, and if it's fully hydrated, then do I still need to get the interfaces and populating them? That kind of discussion.
Okay, yeah, but we will have to add the ones that we need in this package. So the interface
yeah.
one. So, but let's discuss with, maybe we can create it on the fly and then I'll create a PR. So we can do it together in 40 minutes.
Yeah, I'll send you the Zoom link at 10. Thanks.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
All right,
so
sorry,
on
I'm
this one,
turning
yeah,
back.
thanks, Pim, for the explanation. I really appreciate that. So this is taking something what Vim has done, UPS, obviously the parameters and some of the inputs, the network connections, all those will change for SMS. And I think anybody with a good background, do we have any volunteers from a network function vendors who have a good understanding of SMF? But if that's the case, probably if somebody can volunteer for that one, we have an example like what Vim has done in UPF. So we had to do something similar on the SMF. Anybody want to take that one before we move on to the next issue? Yeah, Vish, please.
My question, I mean, if somebody is working on it, I don't mind being a co-author with them, who's the expert on this. That way we can do this together.
Vish,
Okay.
you and I can work on it with Vim help. If
Yeah, so
you
maybe let's try to do. You are SMF, right? AMF is someone from Capgemini, right?
yeah.
Can we try to do it in the meeting? Let's first start with this to flush this out because that's anyhow needed. We create it on the fly, and then
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to commit it, but at least I'll show you how it should look like, and then I can help you guys. So if people
So
join, and
let's. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Vim. I think let's do the assignment right here. Vim, if you don't mind, if you click on that, if you don't mind, that
This one?
particular. No, the install free 5GC SMF.
It's not install, it's initial free 5GC.
Yeah, sorry, not install, initial. I keep reading install. Yeah, initial. Sorry.
There's nothing, it's empty.
I only created it, but I can't read it. So if you go to the assignees list, can we put Anne's and Vish's name there? If you go
do I put
on your right, if you scroll up.
Here.
Add assignees. Let's add Anne's and Vish. That's okay, right? Anne and Vish? No?
Yeah, I'm going to let, and I will be your intern here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask, in this case, I hope that we can come back to John and Wim and ask them to make this more like a story that we can work off, is what I'm thinking. Maybe I'll discuss this with Anne.
Vish, be careful. If you say you're an intern, we're gonna assign you all the work.
No, this is the only task I'm talking about.
I'm joking. Anyway, are you free at 10?
So, Anne, do you think we need? Okay, you and I can discuss offline. No worries.
No, Virash and Stephen and I are meeting at 10 and Vim. So if you're free, join us.
I can join. Yes, I'll join.
Cool. Thank you so much. So is that
and for AMF, Ronak, I think. I don't know how to pronounce his name. And the other Capgemini guys are.
Is he here?
So this is the same thing. This is for AMF. So who should?
As I was saying, they're driving and they can't join. So I can ping them at 10 and see if they're up for picking it up.
Okay, got it. So meanwhile, I mean, thanks, and really appreciate doing that. In the meanwhile, here, anybody wants to Vish, you still have your hands raised. Is it from the previous one, or you want to add something?
From the previous one.
Oh, okay. So in the meanwhile, anybody here wants to, I mean, we can have multiple people working on, as we saw in the previous one. Anybody wants to work with the Capgemini folks here from this group here?
Fairly easy to do, guys. It's not a huge job.
Yeah.
You will get 2 examples.
So Bala,
Right.
is one of your goals to actually make sure as part of this meeting that every task gets assigned?
Not every task, as much as possible.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what
For this sprint, right? For this sprint, basically.
this
your
is.
goal-
Yeah, this board is all about this sprint. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
If we don't have assignments for this task, we will never achieve R1, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're up for it, we can try and take a crack at it. With your
Yeah,
help.
my point is I'm happy to help anyone, but if I do
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
I want to do all of these things. I will do it in half an hour or less or something like that. It's not a problem, but I think it's really useful for other people to take a stamp at it. And by the way, if it's not correct, we will help you, right? So it's don't feel.
So put me down for this because if I can do SMF with Vim help, then I can probably take a crack at AMF and then throw it back in for discussion, review, critique.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shan. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm also, I'll be the intern, and so if I can work with you on that one, I'm happy to make an attempt also. I'm going to be more on the
Who's
learning
that?
side here. This is
Yeah.
Oliver.
Oliver, yeah.
And
Ooh,
we will,
Olivier?
as an intern, assign you other work.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Do you have is your GitHub handle
Oliver
here?
Smith, let's see,
Oh,
try.
are you not finding me? Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, interesting. Okay, I thought John added me. It's it's Olivier, so it's actually, but you're not, I didn't.
So can we, I think we can put that as a comment. Let me put that as a comment. Oliver, this is which issue? This is
Also Olivier Smith, right?
Correct.
Wants to support and help. I'm out.
Yeah, what do you need?
it's
Do you need my
wait,
email
wait.
to add me? Because I thought I was already, I mean, I'm logged in, I'm looking at the
GitHub
same.
handle, I think here you need GitHub handle.
Yeah, and
yeah, and that one probably only Joe can do.
Yeah, I don't get, even I cannot do that, I think.
Hey, Bala, my name is Antu, ANH space TSU, or the letter N, the number 2. Not An. People have been calling me An, I've been ignoring it.
And two.
And
Yeah,
to
or just the letter N, the number 2.
Thanks.
two.
Thanks for
And two.
thanks for correcting me. And two. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so if you can correct that right there in the preview. Yeah. No. Just the letter N and the number 2. Or ANHTHU.
It's actually Vim who
Yeah.
is typing it.
It's
Oh,
me,
sorry.
actually. So it's me. Sorry about it.
Sorry. I assumed Bala was typing since he was.
So it's basically it
Perfect.
autocorrects to
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Okay. Man, this meeting is going better than I thought. Okay, cool.
I was going to take up all the issues, guys.
Yeah. So next one is, can you click on the next one? Yeah.
Is this sort of collecting the 3 NFs together into a topology and creating a kind of over package for that, or Uber package?
What we have to do in this package is creating the package variant set that John was talking about. So which has the upstream to the blueprint packages that we just referred to, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then the downstream, so then we will have to do fan out. So basically, we have to say what parameters that we will use to do the fan out, and I don't know, label selectors or something like that. So
it's kind of it's mainly a modeling job, not so much coding in this, I guess.
Yes,
that's correct. So it's YAML files that you have to do.
Show me on this one. I'll have a go.
Actually, cool.
Yeah.
And then thank you so much, Liam. And there is an example here too. We can click there in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a look at I had a look at this before it came up here.
I don't
Yeah,
think there is example for this one yet.
Yeah, actually, it's right there. Actually, there's a blue link. If you can click
Yeah,
on that.
I like this one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so
Okay,
there's-
yes.
yeah, so
Yeah,
there's
this
some-
is how it's gonna look like. Yeah.
yeah, there's something to start with.
Yes, correct. Okay, yeah, sorry, I
Yeah.
missed that. Yeah. So yeah, something like this you have to do, and then you have to say, yeah, this is all repositories with of type edge, right? So you have to, let's say we do UPF to all the edges, SMF and AMF to regions or something.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
then it pulls in the packages from everybody else, and yeah,
Yes,
look,
correct.
yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. Look, I'll have a go on that.
Cool.
And there should be
Thanks.
3 files here, Liam. So 3 files, one for UPF, one for AMF, and one for SMF. So 3 files. And
Yeah.
then they probably have, yeah, potentially different repositories that they go to. And this will be different for each one.
Wim, isn't it the
Yes.
case that so 3 files are one package?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Because this is a topology, right? So this represents where each UPF should go, where each SMF and where each AMF should go. So that's why each file represents an NF, a network function. And then so this says to which blueprint they belong. And this says what to fan out to. And so this is to all the edges. So all the repos that have this
So this would have been
label.
in the end, this would be automatically generated, I guess, or
Yeah, so I'm advocating to build a tool for this because if nobody's going to do this at high. The first time it's nice to do it. The
Yeah.
second time it gets boring. The third time it becomes not again.
Yeah,
At least that's me.
I'd write 1,000 lines of code to avoid writing 10 lines of modeling. So maybe we'll we'll see how far we can get.
Cool. Thanks, Liam. Really appreciate that. And if you go back,
Wait a minute, I'm just trying to see because it creates a new tab. It seems.
okay, and click on this one.
This is a big one, I think.
This is a big one, and John is going to lead this. So this is basically injecting that kind group version, kind of looking up the particular manifest and injecting into the package variant. So this may be done in Perch. I think John was saying 2 things. Most ideally, this is done in Perch, or even if it is done locally, then it will be open sourced and upstream to Perch at some point of time. John is going to lead this effort, but he can use some help, maybe in terms of testing, validations, one more set of eyes. So anybody would like to volunteer for this one, working with John? This is a big story as well, like Wim said.
Here
You put me down as the intern.
Yeah,
This is real coding. This is difficult, by the way. This is not easy, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's local, probably I wouldn't mind helping either. But in Porch, I'm not sure CLA covers it, so that's
Yeah, here you also have a problem with CLA, I think, because it's Google CLA, not LFX, I think.
yeah. So if it's done locally, I'd love to help. But,
I didn't know this angle. So basically, if somebody to work on this, the CLA for Nephew will not work. Wim, is that what you both said?
Well,
Liam and Wim?
Porch isn't part of the Nephew project, so
It's a different.
our CLA only covers us to work on Porch on Nephew.
Wait, sorry to jump in, but as an individual contributor not associated with a company, I don't
No.
have
You
to
don't
worry.
care. You don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to sign the Google CLA for this. If you contribute, you have to sign the Google CLA.
Yeah, sure. I
Oh.
mean,
So can we add I'll add that as a note, one second.
But I don't know whether if you do it local, I don't know, then probably not.
Yeah, I think so. If it is done locally,
Then that dependency is not there.
So
Yeah.
I am also interested in this, and I have the same restrictions as Tim said in Nokia. So most probably we can convince John to do it in the Nefio repo, and then the Porch guys can decide if they want to use that code or not. But that we can contribute into the Nefio repo under the Nefio CLA.
Correct. That's, I mean,
If this can
exactly.
be done, then put my name also onto this.
So yeah, let's assume here, since we are in the Nefio thing, let's assume this is done locally. Just assume it's just what Stian said right now. This is how it's going to happen. And with that assumption, anyway, I put a comment there about Google CLA. So let's add Istvan's names actually. Thanks, Istvan, for doing this. So Liam, did you also say you were also interested?
Yeah, I'm interested as well as that, because I think if this will consume what I'd be doing in the previous one, so I think it makes sense. So yeah, but again, I have the same restriction regarding the CLA.
Got it. I put that note already. So we'll see. Yeah. So
Okay,
let's assume. Let's
Bala?
assume. Yeah.
Can you add me too?
Yeah, please. Yeah. Let's add that.
Now I do it right.
Yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting who's doing it.
No, it's okay. I mean, both me and Wim is helping me out. Thanks, Wim. I tried to share a couple of tabs. It kind of not working for me. So sorry. Let's go to the next one. This is a UI component. So if you remember, we had a UI for the workshop, and then obviously we had a different flow in the workshop. Different kind of an architecture, there's a package deployment, things like that. So obviously the architecture is going to change, and so is the user flow a little bit from the UI perspective. So for the R1, the ask is about changing parts of UI. If my understanding is correct, somebody from Google is going to may lead this UI effort as well. But if any UI engineers here who wants to also contribute or may potentially lead as well this particular effort, this is a good item. So do we have any UI developers here? Hey Tal, please go ahead. Go ahead. Tal, you want to say something?
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out it's a little bit more than just UI experience. It's learning how to use backend. Sorry, Backstage, Backstage.io, right? There, it's developed on top of this platform as a Backstage plugin. It's quite a bit of effort. It's more than just UI code, but it's a very interesting platform.
Okay.
I'll just give you a quick link to learn.
Hey, Tal, can we reuse what we have in November and extend it?
I guess so. I know that some work has been done to make the Porch UI a bit more up to date.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, this is for R1. I'm not talking permanent.
Right. I think it needs to be evaluated. I would say this, let's change this task from actually doing the work to first evaluating how much work needs to be done to make the UI usable for R1. Because a lot of things have changed. Since the summit, we have the package variant and package variant set resources, and the UI doesn't know about those at all. It only knows about the summit resources. I think somebody would need to evaluate first what needs to be done and maybe divvy that up into small tasks, and then we can, I think, decide as a group if it's worth the effort.
Yeah. So Tal, my understanding was someone who already helped us with UI in the during the workshop.
Chris Fry is doing Chris Fry is helping, I think, but should we wait for John? John has I cannot should we sign him? I can sign him, but Chris
So
Fry
that's
is,
that's why I'm asking Tal, who is a Googler. do, you-
Um,
do you think he's going to help us with this
Here.
too?
I think so.
I think so. You would have to ask him directly. I can ping him and find out exactly, but let's maybe close the loop with John and
Yeah, I prefer to close the loop also with John before we add Chris' name. But when I discussed with John last week, he kind of said that he would help out. But he had other people, he told me, for UI, but I don't know who.
Yeah.
so,
So
let's verify
Yeah,
with John
so-
because I heard differently.
Yeah.
I heard that there's not that there are no resources to work on UI right now. They have other priorities, but again, let's close the loop with John. He would know.
okay. So Ganesh, you have hands raised. Please go ahead.
Yeah, well, to add context, I think I remember discussing with Bala that Chris's availability to work with UI is going to be very limited. However, he's happy to have a couple of sessions with some members who have a UI experience. So actually, me and Sahir have added ourselves to this task on the document, on the Word document for the management group. But I agree with Tal, like instead of just jumping in, because we are also new to the backstage, we will first want to evaluate the work, and maybe depending on the effort needed, maybe then we would further jump into development. I would agree with Tal on this,
Sure.
and maybe we could change the chart. Yeah, change the name possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, I will change the description, Ganesh, just like the way you said after this meeting. I don't want to waste anybody's time. So basically, I'll change the scope of this. Is first evaluate, and then I'm going to add all those things into this description. So can we add your name for this one?
Yeah, my name and Sahir. You can also add Sahir. You'll be able to find Sahir, or even from that document.
Ganesh.
What is it? How do you say it?
Saheer.
SH.
Sorry.
SA as an apple. H.
SHEER. Oh, maybe he's.
Okay, I think we have Ganesh, right? We can add Ganesh, I guess.
Hey, Ganesh is there. I think I added him.
Okay.
Yeah, Sakir's handle, I will maybe share it.
Okay.
So it has.
What do you
I think it also have to be added on the group, right? Like the entire network people. Yeah.
So
Yeah, John has to add the GitHub. Yeah.
So Ganesh, can you please work with Sahir on this one to make himself added to GitHub team?
I'll coordinate with them. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So I
thanks.
think this would be blocked until we have a session with Chris and John. I mean, like you were all mentioning, like it has to be closed with John eventually. Yeah, sure.
Sure. I will change the description of the story to what we discussed. Let's first figure out. Let's wait it out. Let's do a spike on this, and then if it makes sense, do it. Okay, I'll do it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah.
Is it like
Thanks,
this?
Ganesh. Thanks for volunteering. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, now this is the last one, I guess. Package and instructions to create running Nepio management cluster, including UI, push. Actually, this is one of the things. This is a part of this is a step 0 for installer, Ganesh. This is what I was talking in the other meeting. So
Don't we have this? Don't we have this with our playbooks?
I don't know with the.
If you don't say that you need workload clusters, you will get this.
I mean, so this is where we need to decide. We need to understand. Yeah, there are two things here, right? One is so the package for management cluster itself is different from what we had before. So not the dependencies. The dependency like KPT, the push, those things apart, and also the config sync on the workload cluster. But we have new packages, right? Both both on the
Yeah, but
management
it's just
cluster.
what I'm trying to say is just updating the small Ansible scripts to say, okay, use this. And actually, I think even it's configurable because even the YAML file basically tells you which release you take. So if you basically point to the right repo, you're done.
Okay.
Unless I don't understand it, but Fish, you're on the call, right?
Yeah, I'm on the
I
call.
mean, if you install every the playbook and you basically put all your edge and regions and stuff like that at 0, you will get this, in my view.
Yeah, you'll get this.
Yeah.
But
So-
if this needs to be better defined, if somebody picks this up, I mean, I can
Yeah,
help them.
correct. So yeah.
If somebody wants to understand what this is and wants to sign up, I can be part of that to help them out. It'll be another person knowing about this, and Wim can be a consultant.
Yeah, I can consult, but in my view, this we have to probably do a few tweaks left and right, but it's there.
So there are two things. This is this is about creating the packages, all the packages that we need. I will wait it out a little bit more, like in terms of workload cluster and the management cluster. So Vish, you said you're ready to work with someone on this one. So Ganesh, you have your hands raised. Any comments on this?
Sorry, a quick question, Bala. So there, I see also there is another task for the not for the sprint one, but for the entire R1, like called creating installer for Nephew. I think that is
Yeah.
assigned to Victor.
Yeah.
So how is this related to that?
I don't.
It's kind of a good question. Victor is not here. So when we created the installer for, I'll give you a little bit of genesis of this whole thing. We created the installer story long time ago, since relatively like a couple of months ago or something like that, or maybe a month ago. And then Victor said he wants to, he has some ideas on it. He wants to work on it. And then he started working on that. We at this point of time, we know he's making progress, but we don't know exactly where he's at. And then for R1, John had put this particular issue as well in his document. So when I transferred this, I thought this and the installer are slightly related because this is about creating packages and instructions. And the installer that Victor is going to create, obviously it needs to take these packages and then it needs to install these packages onto the clusters. So this is, to me, step 0 for the installer story. This is about not installing itself. This is about creating the packages that are needed for management cluster and workload cluster, and then coming out with instructions on how to run them. And then probably the installer that Victor is going to create, obviously I think that may need changes after this, is that it will take these packages and then install these packages onto both management and workload clusters. Did that answer, did I answer in some way, Ganesh?
Yes, thanks, Bala.
How different is this from the script, the Ansible scripts that Wim had? Like, I mean, it's pretty much probably changes to
Same
that.
thing.
It's more deltas to that.
I think, yeah,
I think
maybe
this is
some
step
other-
0 is what I
It's
feel
very-
now after what Bala explained.
Yes,
Which means-
exactly. I mean, this is what you need, right?
Which means
Yeah, I
it's-
could help with this, but I don't know. Because I did follow Wim's Ansible script for my own demos and all.
Yeah. So
But,
to me, Bala,
yeah,
what you're saying
I
is,
don't know how much of it is required. As you said, somebody else is also doing it, so I'm not sure. So I could help you.
Yeah, we could definitely put Ravi's name. So Vish, what was the question? You were asking something?
I mean, after what you explained, it seems to be that it is not about the install at all using Ansible. It is about the definition of those repos with those packages. I mean, those package definitions basically is what you're talking about for all this different components.
Yes.
The Nephew system.
Then we have to update the title a bit, I think, not.
Yeah, and also adding UI into the mix. I don't know what the UI here is. I think there's also Nephew Web UI
Yeah, it's a
package
right?
also out
Nephew.
there.
Yes, yeah.
It seems like
It's basically like this packages. This basically this story ensures. I don't know. This may have been covered in the individual stories too. This story is all encompassing story that it it only talks about management cluster here. Obviously, we need to define it slightly better. So basically, all the packages are there that are needed to set up a management cluster for Nephew.
yeah. So if I were to break it into two parts, the one part is the step 0 that you talked about, which means, hey, look at the definition of these packages. One needs to understand that. And second is like, how would I go about installing these packages? So two different things is how I understand this as.
Right. I have a feeling.
And
since we
for
have-
this for the second part, I'm really I don't know what Victor is doing, but like the installer itself, we somehow have, right?
Yeah,
Because
I think the way I understand Vim, I think obviously Victor is not here. I can't speak for him, but I think since Victor also helped us for that installer during the workshop, he may be doing the exact thing that you're saying.
So he might be going.
I don't know what he's doing, but
route.
Okay, he's going, but okay, why are we creating yet another thing? I mean, we have enough to do, because what's wrong with what we have?
Yeah, I think he may be just doing what you said. We will talk to Victor Vim probably when.
I think it's worth discussing with him, because I mean, we have spent so much time, and there has been so many people who have made it much better than it was in the beginning. We even have installation with Docker and with Podman and stuff like that. So it's like you have to do all of that again. I think, in my view, we are wasting our time.
I agree. Probably we can talk to him when he's available. Probably maybe Slack. We can bring him what exactly he's doing. Then we can discuss with him.
We can just reference the existing artifacts that we have and just say that probably it's an improvisation on that. So.
Because for ease, if you only want to install the management cluster, put all the clusters to 0 except the management cluster. You have that. If you have the package, that's all you need. There's nothing more needed.
Yeah. So this particular Vim, do you agree the definition of this story, like we are going to?
If this is the package creation, that needs to be done for sure. The package needs to be created, and actually is the existing package that need to be updated with the new artifacts for R1. But you can only do that once you have R1, right?
That's true.
This is for this particular sprint. So I know this. It was very aggressive. If you look at this whole thing, Wim, do you think at the end of this sprint, do we have something? It may not be final, but for the components such as some injectors, obviously the IPAM controller, and maybe I don't know what will happen to the UI because we need to vet it out. But do you think we will be in a position to create some packages for them, or do you think this is too much for this sprint?
So you need a new porch. So that's one you can do. The IPAM has changed. It's available, but it's not yet refactored in the new repos. But I updated IPAM after the workshop. So it's available, it's checked in, but you have to update that repo. So you just take from whatever is there. UI, most likely nothing will have changed for the sprint. So you take whatever is there. And then for the injectors, the problem which we have with the injectors, if you don't take them all, you almost have to get all of them unless they don't do anything. You see? So my goal is by the end of this week, have the first function ready. The IPAM controller didn't change. So you can, so you have to take the new version. So you can do a little bit, but the question is if it's useful, because it will not result in anything as of now.
Yeah.
Right?
True. I mean,
so the port side, so the way I look at it is always in the beginning of the chain. Of course, the new ports release, that's useful, right? So that you need, so that's beneficial. UI probably hasn't changed, but then, and you can take the new IPAM, but the new IPAM will not do anything unless the functions are there. So, so the most useful part is the porch.
So if you see the functional scope of this sprint, I'm referring to its a document. I'm gonna paste it here too in our chat. I'm
You want this one?
I'm gonna paste it here. If you see the functional scope of, if you can click on that document, the functional scope of this, he says Nefio is up and running. That's a very aggressive. We scroll down a little bit for the sprint one. If you scroll down at the end
Sprint
of
one.
Yeah.
But sprint one, it's by the end of. I'm planning to have my functions ready by that time. So in that case, yeah, I am. So if you really, in this sprint, it's feasible. I think it's feasible.
Okay, cool. So I know Ravi wanted to. Ravi, do you think we can add your name for now and see how it goes?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Wim was suggesting is very useful too, to identify the new software components. I mean, I'm assuming that we fall back on the existing scripts. If that needs to be changed for sure, because I had volunteered for testing and validating the software and so on. So I think I could create something at my end too, once this software new components roll out. But it'll be good to capture what is the delta from going from what we had for the workshop and the script and what Victor had and all that to what we want, like the new controllers, the new packages, of course, for SMF, UPF, and AMF, and I don't know, repo-wise, those changes. And I think if we just capture that, then those would be good starting points. Yeah, I could help with that for sure, but I think it has to be crystallized more.
Okay.
See, I even wrote it here, Bala, right? Is that they need to come together to function as far as the conditional dance needs to be harmonized. So you need all the functions, otherwise,
Yeah, I don't know. I think to me, Nefio up and running at the end of first is a very aggressive. It's
no management cluster, right? So
yeah,
this
management
would
cluster.
This would generate deployments of various kinds. So I think it's possible, but
most of it will be the existing one, right? That we have. I mean, of course, the functionality might be broken, or in some cases may not be there, but it will be up and running.
Yeah, but the question is whether you hydrate, right? So for me, my comment is whether it hydrates and spits out a package with something that is relevant to the workload cluster. That's my goal here. Nefio up and running with cups. So this is too much, right? So if it's only management cluster, I think it's a stretch, but it's feasible.
Yeah. So if we go back to the board,
so for me, the biggest dependency that I have to package management is that the injection of the cluster context. I'm not sure whether, so the biggest dependency to make this functional is that, in my view. And that's the big item that needs to happen in John's team, is to inject this cluster context, which is specific towards which should happen in the package variant. So that's a big job. If something like that, yes. So if that big job is done, or if there is something that is useful, because those functions will not do anything unless cluster context is there. Because I cannot allocate an IP if I don't know for which cluster it is. So there is a dependency there with our functions, and the design that we have at the moment will check whether cluster context is there, and if it's not there, we will not do anything with the functions.
Yeah, it could be that
a dependency. Yeah.
Right. It could be that the components are there, packages are there, but they will not be doing anything.
Yes, but that's okay. That's already a good step. If it's installed and it runs, it doesn't crash. That's already a good thing, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Hey, Ganesh, you have your hands up. Please go ahead.
Yes, Bala, thank you. Regarding the tasks, can we also have permission to, at least when you're assigned to a specific task, can we have the permission to add another person along with you? Currently, I don't see any permission to add another. Is that something that we can add, or what are your thoughts?
I think, yes, all the GitHub stuff, right? I think any issue that you note with GitHub, please, contact John. I don't know whether Tal or Wim, can you do anything with the GitHub permissions at all? I totally understand what you're saying.
No,
Some point of
I
time,
don't.
I could not assign anything, but at this point of time, I could assign issues to people. For that, John had to give me some permission. So absolutely, your ask is totally valid. I think let's work with John on that, Ganesh, because he has to do
Yeah.
something to do with our permissions.
Yeah, I also got
Something.
permission to assign, but I cannot. Yeah, so you need to get special permissions on it, and I think it's limited. Yeah, he wants to contain it, so but you need to ask the people. Yeah, yeah. I don't know the reasons behind, but yeah.
No, it completely makes sense. It can be limited, but at least when some task is assigned to you, then at least for that task, you could add somebody else along with you. I mean,
Yes.
not for
You're right.
all,
But
but
you
at
should.
least.
What you should be able to do is update the status, I think. Can you do that? So you see here, that's what I did always during the workshop. And then we had the Scrum meetings. And then I said, it's done. And then so what I'm doing is I get this issue assigned to me. And then once I complete, I add it into the comment here. So I think that's a bad example. So this one is maybe a good example. So if you look to this issue, what I did is I always say, I put some comment here and then I change the status myself. But assigning other people, you cannot do, I think, but you can update your status for yourself to it. If you need
Yes.
other people to be assigned, you need to ask, I think Bala, you can do it as well, right? And myself,
Yeah.
I think right now, I don't know who else is there. John, for sure. Steven,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, John had to give me all sorts of permissions because we went back and forth when I was creating boards, like I was trying to do certain things, but not able to do certain things. Then he had to give me some other permissions. So I think Ganesh, I think we need to, let's work with John on that one. So if you go
Sounds
back
good.
to the board again, since we're almost at the top of the hour, your next that SIG package management, the last one, that's the last issue. Let's add Ravi there as an interested party. Ravi, I understand it's not you're not totally responsible for this, but it's an interested party.
Sure. I could contribute. Yeah. I mean, whenever as you know, as I because what I think is this is what we did. I mean, this is the basic setup you're trying to bring up to kind of before you kind of provision any 5G CNX.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if
I'll put it like this: can contribute with other people, right?
Yeah. I'm sure I should. Somebody else is leading it.
See, my
because it's building
point
on
is
somebody else.
Yeah, if you put only your name, you will be the only one assigned. So that's why I'm
Yeah, no. I was just that's why I said, initially because I've used your script, I've done internal demos and stuff. So yeah, so there's some familiarity there. That's why I said.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. So anybody else who's interested in this particular thing? I had to do a better write-up here.
I'll be one of the reviewers for sure. I can be a reviewer.
Okay, cool. Let's add Vish to the assignees. Yeah. Thanks, Vish. Awesome, cool. I think we are just over.
That's it.
I think yeah, we finished everything. All the issues are there. I think.
Do you want to do the same tomorrow for me, Bala? Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can help with I can help with any of these meetings. I want to thank you for helping me with this.
Okay.
I really
owe me one.
Yeah.
Owe me one this time.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll update the sprint board for us tomorrow. Yeah. No, I think it's very good because yeah, we have to get into this mode of action. Otherwise,
exactly. Yeah, we need to do this for all the subgroups. Let's do it, and then it's just the first time. After that, it will fall into practice. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, everyone. All have a great day.
Well
Yeah,
done. Well done.
thanks, Bala, for doing this. It's not easy.
Yeah, very smoothly run.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Liam.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.